So in this lesson, we're going to learn about something called range variability. Now, a range is simply when you left click and drag across any area in the sheet itself, and you see this gray highlighted section, that is a range. It is any range of cells. Now, technically, even one cell is itself a range. And so we're going to talk about something called range variability. So imagine that you're wanting to create a budget where every month you've got 100 of whatever currency it is that you've got in your country. And you want to do this for every month. So you start with January. I show you a clever little trick. If you click in the bottom right corner and drag down, Excel is very clever. You see there April, May, June, July. It's recognizing that you're wanting to increment through each of the months of the year. So you just drag all the way down until you've got a full list of all of your months. Now, let's say that every month you're going to enter into this budget exactly how much you spent. Now, let's say that you did very well in the first month and you only spent 50. And then let's say second month, we'll just fill in a couple of kind of fake values here. So 103, I don't know, let's say, again, 105, had a couple of difficult months. And then let's say 75 for April. Something like that. Now, obviously, you want to test whether or not you exceeded the monthly amount, and you want to do that in the column C. So what you'll do is what we said in the last tutorial. You enter equals here because you're going to be running a test that's going to return a Boolean, true or false. So you do equals, and you want to know in January, so you click in the cell where you spent the money, 50. Now, is that greater than? Did it exceed? Now, greater than has an operator, which we didn't go through in the last tutorial, but it is that symbol. It can also be that for less than. And so you want to know, is B4 greater than B1? And you can just click on the cell that you're wanting to reference, or you can type it in B1 manually, whichever you find easier. And then obviously press the enter button, and it should say, well, false. You did not exceed the budget for that month. Now, this is very good news. Let's now do the trick again of clicking in the corner and dragging down. Now, you can click and drag down, but you can also simply copy, Control C, and then highlight the range, and then do Control V or paste. And that will also do the same thing. And there you go. Now it's just automatically running that test each time. Let's now have a look at what it's outputting. And I think you'll see that we've got a bit of a problem because it starts off correct. And then here it says it's again correct. Did we exceed? Yes, we went over. It was 103. But now we've got a problem. Did we exceed? It's saying false. No, we didn't. Even though we did. And then here, did we exceed? No, we didn't. But now it's saying true. So, something's gone a little bit squiffy. Let's look at what's happening inside each cell. So, to start with, a little trick is if you see this formula bar at the top and you want to look in more depth at what's happening in a formula, you can click inside it, and Excel will highlight in nice color coding coordination the cells that are involved in that formula. Now here you can see that it's B4 and B1. B4 is blue, B1 is red, and so you can see which cells we are looking at. Now if you go down to the next one, you click inside, you can see that there's a problem. So obviously each month has its own cell when it comes to the total cost. But each month should be only looking at the original cell, B1, when it's coming to the budgeted amount. But Excel doesn't know that because you haven't specified that you need the one cell, the one in red, to always be the same cell, and you need the other cell, the one in blue, to move down with the formula. How do we express that? Now, there's a very simple way of doing it. In order to freeze a certain cell, what you do is you use the dollar sign. Now you want to do that both for the column and the row. So here's the column, B, and here's the row, 1. If you put a dollar sign before each of them, then you're going to freeze it to that single cell. Now, if you press enter, that will have updated this cell, but it has not updated the other ones. Now, obviously, you can easily correct that by simply clicking in the corner and dragging down. And this has now changed the results to be exactly correct. So that is called range variability. When you're creating formulas, the range will be variable according to your formula, unless you specify that you want it to be static by inputting these little operators, the dollar signs here, to make sure that the range remains static. Now, it's perhaps for another time, but you can also distinguish between row and column. For example, if you want to simply make the row the same all the time, but not the column, then you can specify one or the other, but that's perhaps for another time. For now, at least you can see that you can freeze certain cells. Now, a useful little shortcut is the F buttons on the keyboard. So F4 will switch exactly what you're freezing. So it'll toggle through from freezing column and row to just freezing the row to just freezing the column to freezing neither, and it toggles through all of those options. So F4 is a nice shortcut. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.